All right, hey everybody. Not sure if this is working or not. Maybe it's working out there on the interwebs, but it's certainly not working where I'm at. Oh man, what a day. What a day, right? Well, we got some positivity. We got a nice waterfall in the background, so we'll get to it. We'll just get to it. Yeah. Anyway, my name's Tom Coffey. We're at Coffee and Nuance. Follow us over there on Rumble. Follow us over there on X, on YouTube. Because who knows what's going to happen in 2 weeks, you know? Things could change. And that has to do with what my topic is today, which I'm calling Trump Derangement Buyout. Yeah, we're going to get to that and how that could affect how you see this show. So anyway, just a reminder, we're on the road to 420. That's right, 420 Rumble followers. We're stuck at 314, so it's probably never going to happen. But you want to support the show, that's what you can do. Please follow us over there. Anyway, yeah, let's get to it. It's October 23rd. No see, no hear. Okay. All right, well, someone let me know if you can see me or not. You know, when I see that no one can see me, it's hard for me to do. All right, well, I have to pull this up. Let's see. Let's see if I'm live. Sound is kind of low. The hell? Okay, well, you know what? Turn it up. That's all I can say. I'm trying like a mofo. I am trying so hard to do this. I don't know what the hell is going on. Let's just see. And maybe I'll get closer to the mic. I've got, yeah, the mic seems, I don't know. I don't know. Let's just do it. F it. We'll do it live. Yeah, as Bill O'Reilly would say. All right, let me just give you my little, grind my gears on this topic. Well, maybe it's working. It's not me. I blame the billionaires. Anyway. Oh, let me get the Chiron right. Here we go. Trump derangement buyout. That's the monologue. You know, I've been watching the media landscape lately, and it's getting weird out there. It's like every major news outlet's got bought by someone who's mad they weren't invited to Trump's New Year's Eve party. I mean, remember when The Atlantic was this quasi-intellectual, boring magazine you subscribed to because you want to impress people at a cocktail party? Yeah, me neither. But now it's basically the official journal of how Trump ruined my life. Don't get me started on the Drudge Report. Matt Drudge was like Trump's ride or die back in 2016. Now the headlines read like they were written by an ex-wife that really hates him. The whole thing I'm calling Trump derangement buyout. I'm sorry that it's quiet. I have it turned up all the frickin' way. I have it turned up all the way. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I'll eat the mic. Okay, I'll talk like this. I don't know what else to frickin' do. Anyway, I'm calling this Trump derangement buyout. And maybe I'll just take the entire studio and explode it over the weekend and get all new shit because this is really damn annoying. I'm acting like the people, these billionaires, with this Trump derangement buyout. That's what I'm doing. I'm acting that way too. I'm acting just as irrational as they are. But I'm calling this Trump derangement buyout. Trump derangement buyout, because apparently if you got enough money, and enough of a grudge against Trump, you can just buy the news. It's like retail therapy for billionaires who still haven't accepted the results of the 2016 election. You know what'll make me feel better? Owning the Atlantic and turning it into an ongoing therapy session. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I get it. Trump's a lot to handle. He ran for president like he was auditioning for his own roast. But these media buyouts aren't about balance or even fact checking. No. They're about revenge. And it's not just the content, folks, it's the tone. It went from, here's some questionable things about Trump, to Trump is literally Hitler. Yeah. Now, why is this happening? Easy, because Trump won. They never got over it. So now, instead of, doing what the media is supposed to do, like report news, maybe challenge people in power, they're just trumping punt. They're just punching the Trump pinata 24/7. What happened? Trump's still winning over people. Because guess what? When you go this hard at someone, people start wondering, wait, why are they trying so hard to convince me this guy is the devil? Maybe there's something they don't want me to see. It's like the Streisand effect of politics. The more they tell you Trump is the boogeyman, the more people start Googling boogeyman for president. Here's the kicker. You think the media campaign would be working, right? I mean, they've got every paper, every website. They're practically broadcasting anti-Trump bedtime stories at this point. But no, Trump's base, rock solid. Because the more they go after him, the more people tune that out. It's like a broken record. Trump's destroying democracy. Trump is in danger. Trump eats pizza with a fork. And at this point, people don't even care what the story is. They see the word Trump and they go, oh boy, here we go again. Let me guess, he did something like breathe. This is what happens when your media strategy is built entirely around revenge. You lose people. When the whole narrative is Trump is bad, it starts to sound like a bad reality show. Except this time, nobody's getting voted off the island. And the funniest part, these billionaires are spending all this money to own the media, thinking it'll change things, when all they're doing is pushing more people away from it. You know what? I'm starting to think maybe Trump's not even the real issue here. Maybe these media moguls just don't like that Trump figured out how to get attention for free. Meanwhile, these billionaires are spending millions to get people to read an article about how Trump's tie is too long. So next time you read something about Trump is single-handedly ruining America, just check out who bought the paper. Chances are it's a tech billionaire who's angry because Trump hurt his fifis. Moral of the story, if you can't beat them, buy a media company. And if that doesn't work, buy another one. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show. Most ignored, censored commentary news show live right now. Flame on. All right. Well, I did try to make some changes to the audio. Before the sound, the music was too loud, and I think I got that fixed. I don't freaking know. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we're trying. We're trying with our very tiny audience, but I appreciate everybody for joining me, even though this is not the most tech fluid show that there is. All right. Anyway. So yeah, there was a big, October surprise. The Atlantic put out some BS. I'm not even going to address it because it's frankly is made up BS. That's all it is. The guy who wrote it, he's written all kinds of BS in the past. I don't need to prove this to anybody. It's absolute garbage. And I don't think anyone's buying it. Although I do see people buying it, but these are people that still believe the media. And at that point, all you can do is just kind of laugh at it and say, you still believe that? And leave it at that. Because there's no point fighting with someone that has a totally different belief system than you. They see the world differently than you. They believe the nonsense that the corporate media is putting out. So that's all you can do. But I want to talk about this idea. This is Trump derangement buyout. So this is a term, and I made it up, right? And it's about this strategic purchase. This is my theory. There's a strategic purchase of media outlets of critics of Trump after his election, and it aimed at reshaping the editorial tone of these organizations to focus on anti-Trump narratives. And this highlights the perception that these acquisitions were driven by a reactionary desire to influence public opinion through biased and negative coverage of Trump's presidency. So that's what I'm calling the Trump derangement buyout. It did happen. You know, they looked and they said, hey, how did Trump win? Oh, you know, people were looking at the Drudge Report. A lot of people saw that. I know what we can do. Let's just buy out the Drudge Report. And he can't use that again. And he couldn't. They bought it out. You know, you got Steve Jobs' ex-wife, hates Trump. Let's just buy the Atlantic. You know, the Atlantic that wins Pulitzer Prizes. This has a lot of credibility in a lot of people's mind. Well, let's just buy it, and then we can put out vile BS. That's what they did. Some people think that the Atlantic is still a legitimate news source. They're like, it wins Pulitzers. Yeah, it does. And it's garbage. Both of those can be true, you know? So another piece that I wanted to talk about was, and do I have this up here? That affected a lot of local news. And that was, come on. There we go. Nope. That, I just opened up my, wrong thing. So this is a Trump derangement buyout. So one of the other examples to look at is Gannett News, Gannett, and USA Today. Now, it's not blatantly anti-Trump, but Gannett merged in 2019, so after Trump became president, with Gatehouse Media. And there was a big shift in tone across all of its networks, which were local papers. And Trump's critics pointed to Gannett's editorial board, which adopted a more corporate centrist tone that was undermining this kind of populist messaging that may have been there in the past. So that is another example of buying out a media company and shaping the tone of the paper or the papers all across the country, these local papers that shifted away from populism, which was associated with Trump, more toward the corporate establishment. So that is this. I do think that this is a coordinated effort. I don't think that it's just, market forces, right? Again, this does get into some mind reading. A lot of this stuff you can't prove, right? I can't prove that they all coordinated to do this. It just looks like they did. And I'll just leave it at that. Some people might say, well, what about Elon Musk buying X? And it's like, yeah, he bought that to expose everyone else. At least that's how I look at it. And I know people differ on that. But just for fun, I made another one of these AI podcasts. I am not going to play the whole thing because that will just be a teaser. I'll play like 2 or 3 minutes of it just at the beginning. I made this with Notebook LM. It's a little podcast based on what I wrote up about this Trump derangement buyout. And so let's check that out again. The audio that's playing is created with AI. Just saying that. So, anyway, and maybe the audio levels will be correct on this. Let's find out.
Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're tackling something that's been, kind of brewing out there in the media landscape for a while.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like a news source that you used to trust just suddenly changed,
Yeah.
like took a hard turn?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to be looking at today.
Interesting.
This idea of the Trump derangement buyout.
Okay.
We're diving into Tom Coffey's book,
Right.
Trump Derangement Buyout, how media ownership shifted to control the narrative.
Mm.
And it's fascinating stuff. It gets into
Yeah.
how changes in who owns media companies
Right.
can actually impact
Oh, yeah.
what you see,
Absolutely.
what you read, what you hear,
It makes a huge difference.
especially when it comes to political coverage.
For sure. Especially in today's landscape, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this theory is really intriguing because it kind of goes beyond
Okay.
just those natural, shifts that publications go through.
Coffey's suggesting that there were some media outlets that were bought,
Hmm.
specifically by people who were critical of Donald Trump
Right.
after he won the 2016 election.
Okay.
And the intention there was to really push a more negative narrative about him.
So it's like the idea that someone could just purchase a newspaper or a website,
Yeah,
almost like a weapon
exactly.
to shape public opinion against a particular figure.
You got it.
Before we get into the how and the why,
Yeah.
can you break down exactly what Coffey means by this Trump derangement buyout?
So he uses that term to describe
Oh.
situations where individuals or groups
Right.
who are very opposed to Trump
Mm.
and his policies, his presidency,
Ugh.
deliberately acquired media companies.
Right.
And their goal, according to this theory, wasn't just to,
Right.
express their own dissenting opinions. It was to really shift the editorial direction of these outlets
Interesting.
towards more critical coverage of Trump.
So it's less about like an organic evolution of a news source's stance
Right.
and more about a calculated takeover
Yeah.
with a very specific agenda.
Exactly. It really gets to the heart of how media ownership
Right.
can influence the information we consume.
Yeah.
It suggests that these acquisitions were motivated less by,
Right.
a commitment to objective reporting
Yeah.
and more by a desire to really control the narrative around Trump
Wow.
and potentially shape public perception in a particular direction.
It's almost like somebody flipping a switch
Yeah.
and suddenly a publication goes from neutral
Right.
or even supportive to intensely critical.
Exactly. And Coffey highlights a couple of examples of this supposed buyout in action.
Okay.
One that really stood out to me was the Atlantic.
Yeah, the Atlantic.
They were bought in 2017 by Laurene Powell Jobs.
Right. The widow of Steve Jobs. Hmm.
She's known for her progressive views.
Right. And the Atlantic already leaned a little bit left politically.
It did.
But many people observed a noticeable increase in articles critical of Trump after that acquisition.
For sure. Some even questioned his fitness for office,
Oh, wow.
using much stronger language than before.
Yeah.
So, this shift really fueled speculation
Right.
about whether the new ownership was influencing the editorial direction.
It's like they cranked up the dial on their criticism.
Yeah.
Another interesting case that Coffey brings up is the Drudge Report.
The Drudge Report, yeah.
For those who may not know,
Right.
this was a popular news aggregator.
Right, kind of a one-stop shop for headlines.
Yeah.
It was considered a key player in conservative media.
Okay.
They actually played a significant role in Trump's 2016 campaign.
Interesting.
But then things changed.
Yeah. What happened?
Well, there were rumors of an ownership change,
Hmm.
although the details are still a bit murky.
Okay.
But what is clear is that after this supposed shift,
Right.
the Drudge Report underwent a pretty dramatic transformation.
So content that was once favorable to Trump,
Yeah.
aligned with conservative viewpoints,
Yeah.
became increasingly critical, even hostile at times.
Yeah, they alienated a lot of their longtime readers
Really?
who felt like the site had betrayed its core audience.
It's almost like they pulled the rug out from under their own base,
Yeah.
leaving a lot of people feeling confused and betrayed.
For sure.
And Coffey doesn't stop there. He also delves into the world of local news,
Local news.
specifically looking at Gannett,
Okay.
the company that owns USA Today,
Right. Huge.
and a vast network of local newspapers across the country.
Across the country. Yeah, that's a big one.
So the case of Gannett is a bit more nuanced.
It is a bit more nuanced, and I'll just cut it off right there with, I'll just go back to So that was the little podcast that I made with AI. I did see a suggestion in the comments to put a link to the little podcast that was made with AI in the YouTube. So I will do that. I will post the little AI podcast on X. I will put a link to it in the description of the video on Rumble and on YouTube, so you can click it and watch it there if you like, if that's your thing. But anyway, that's this idea about this. Now, a couple of things that I would like that I'm just going to ask. Let's see if I can close this here. Just a couple of questions that I might have for you. Something to think about. Have you noticed a shift in how certain media outlets cover Trump? And if so, which ones? Now, this is what I came up with, the Gannett, USA Today News Services, Drudge Report, and The Atlantic. But are there other ones that you've noticed this kind of shift? Let me know what you've personally observed. Do you trust media outlets that have been bought by wealthy owners with political leanings? And do you think that the owner impacts the news? I definitely think that that's true. We've seen a big change in X, I think in a positive direction with it being purchased by Elon. But what do you think about other media outlets? And why do you think wealthy individuals are so eager to buy media outlets to push anti-Trump narratives? Is it really about Trump, or is it something else? What do you think? So anyway, this is all the stuff I would love to get your feedback on. Let me know in the comments. And I'll be going through all your comments right now in the after show. However, let's see if I can just break my entire studio down, put it back together from the beginning, and maybe I can get this thing to work without all the hitches that I seem to have gotten recently. Sometimes that happens. I'm actually picking up my car from the garage. You got one thing wrong, and then it turns out that there might be another thing, and then another thing. And you know what? Just go through, do a tune-up. Let's get it running smoothly, and hopefully, knock on wood, we won't have any problems going forward, at least for a year. So I'll try to do that with this studio. I'm just going to break the whole thing down, take the whole thing apart, put it back together, and then we'll see if it works on Friday when I'll be back live, noon on the West Coast, 3 on the East. Hope you can join me then. I'm going to go through all your comments in the after show. Until then, have a glorious day. And again, I will put a link to the little AI podcast that I made about this topic in the description. Give me like 20 minutes after the show's done. All right. See you on Friday. Peace. All right, we're back. Cannot seem to get the all your awesome comments on the screen. Yeah, so like I say, I apologize for that. That's what happens when you have such a money-making operation that I have. And when I say money-making, I mean I spend lots of money trying to do this. I don't make anything in return. But anyway, I can't seem to get your comments on the screen. But like I said, I'm gonna just break down this whole studio and build it back from the beginning and see if we can fix things, get the levels right. I know that the volume is not great. I have it turned up all the way, but I don't know what the hell is going on. So I will try to fix that along with everything else, and we'll see if we can get it back running smoothly on Friday. I just want to say, what's up, Natasha? Made it. Hi, Tom. Hi, Natasha. Sound is kind of low. Yeah, I get it. Sounds low. We'll try to fix that. Look at the moons. I see you. I see you too. Nice. Yeah, sound is low. Okay, YouTube flipped out on me, came over here to Rumble. So that's what you can do. The nice thing is even if you don't follow me on Rumble, if you just bookmark rumble.com/coffeenuance/live, then you can just click that if there's ever a problem with YouTube or you want to get to my live show without having to go to the channel, look for the thing. You can just click on that bookmark and you should be able to get me live if I'm live. So there you go. All good. Hit it, Tom. Nice. I wonder if you are louder on Rumble than YouTube. I can barely hear you on YouTube yesterday. Yeah, I did get that feedback, and that's why I messed with some of the levels. One of the tough things when you do this is it's different if you record it than if you're live streaming. And the only way to find out if you're doing it correctly, live streaming, is if you stream live. Right? There's no way to really test it. Although I could probably do that on the weekend, where people aren't going to get a whole lot of alerts, and I could just, run through and test all the equipment on the weekend. So, but then I never want to do anything on the week. I never want to, I turn everything off and I just ignore everything on the weekend. That's how it is. Anyway, yeah, listen harder. That's the thing. I like how people are upset and want to jail Elon for supporting Trump, and then they turned a blind eye to the recent Gates super PAC contributions. Well, there's a lot of hypocrisy going on right now, and a lot of people can't see it. A lot of people are just blind to it. Guy Cox came in and says, I voted for Harris and Waltz, and it's with a bunch of crying, laughing emojis. Okay, well, good for you, Guy. I'm not sure if that's a troll or what, but if it is, I laugh, and if it's not, whatever. Non-financial advice, but shares of BetterHelp should skyrocket if Trump wins. Yeah, I do think that there's probably going to be a huge mental health crisis if Trump wins. So, yeah, if you're looking, I think a therapy business would be very, very financially beneficial. If you can just get into that real quick. I can't believe he's going to be like Hitler, want to have generals like Hitler. He's wanting to turn his back on the United States of America. He doesn't understand the Constitution and the rule of law. Yeah, I can't believe that either because it's not true and it doesn't make any sense, but, all right. Lucid says, billionaires buying the media to broadcast their own opinions. In many ways, that's what this show is, right? I've bought myself a little studio, and I can get up here and tell you what grinds my gears, like on what was that, Family Guy? What grinds my gears. That's kind of fun, and the nice thing is I can get on and spout my opinions on some things like that. And then that way, none of my friends have to hear my political opinions, right? Because they don't want to hear them, right? But I can get on and I can just tell it to whoever wants to hear them. And I get it out of my system. And then my friends don't have to get mad at me, for talking about politics too much. So it's a win-win. And if I were a billionaire, I'd probably buy my own media company too. I'd probably do that. That sounds like fun. Get my opinion out there. So I'm not hating them for that. I'm just acknowledging what they're doing. Lucid says the faulty equipment is becoming your shtick, Tom. Run with it. I could do that, but I don't know. If I had a bigger audience, that might be a fun thing to do. But right now, I'm just trying to do all I can to maybe get a couple dozen people to watch me live. We'll get there someday. Obama won that award too, a Nobel. That doesn't mean Obama's more valuable. It means the Nobel has lost all of its value. Yeah, the Obama Nobel Peace Prize is quite a joke, especially since I think he was the president in charge of dropping more bombs than anybody in human history. So it's a bit ironic there. But yeah, again, please put the links to the podcast on YouTube. I don't understand X. I barely function here on Rumble. but I can navigate YouTube relatively well. So please, please, please link it, the AI podcast there. Okay, yes. So how it will work is I will put a link to it. I believe, I could be wrong, it will be posted on X, because I don't want to post an AI podcast on YouTube because they have some rules about that, and I just don't want to get into that. And you will click it. It will go to X to play it, and you don't need an account to play it, and I believe that you'll just be able to play it that way. So hopefully that works. Woohoo, 11 concurrent watchers on YouTube. Yeah, we're killing it. But it's really dropped off now. I like how AI calls you Coffee, but we all call you Tom. Yeah, well, when I put in my article into the AI to do it, I have my little article and I say, bye, Tom Coffey. But yeah, they never mentioned my first name, which is kind of funny, but I guess that's how the AI does it. All media outlets shifted towards Trump the moment he put a R beside his name. Oh, I think they shifted. I get what you're saying. Their opinions toward Trump shifted. Yes. I know what you meant, Joe. I know what you meant. I heard SNL is making fun of Biden and Harris, not just Trump, and that this is supposedly a change. I don't watch SNL for several years now. You can watch the clips. In fact, that's a good thing that you can watch the clips on X. It's very easy to do. But yes, they are having a grand time making fun of Kamala and Biden. You got Dana Carvey doing Biden, and he does it really well. Maya Rudolph does Kamala, and she does it quite well, kind of acting drunk and talking incoherently. And so, yeah, that's it's pretty good. It's pretty funny. What's up, Doug? Nice to see you here. Build back better, Tom. Yeah, we're going to tear down the studio. We're going to build it back better. Wow, you got much louder all of a sudden. Okay, good. I did reach over and turn one knob. Maybe that's it. Faulty equipment is also Boeing's shtick, and it works for them. Yeah. That's true. And you know what? This is a lot less critical. If the tech here is faulty, as compared to an airplane. So there you go. Anyway, that's all I have for you all today. That's my thing. I will put a link on in the description of the video to the AI podcast. Give me like 20 minutes to get it posted over there on X. Anyway, I'm going to tear it down, build back better, and yeah, we'll see how the show goes on Friday. Hope to see you then. Peace.